Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself and say what it is you do for a living, and we'll kind of take it from there.
I'm Jake Wheeler. I'm 27 years old, and I build fun stuff. From trophies to bicycles to push carts to motorcycles to bumpers for cars and trophies, and you name it, I've built it.
What do you have a name for what you call your profession?
Fabricator, welder, designer. There's tons of common names out there, but I would just say that I like to build things. I have a passion for it, and you know, call it what you will, design work, instant engineering.
Okay. Could you go more into, how did you get into basically making your own bikes?
I've always tinkered with everything I've owned. Every bicycle I've ever gotten, I've taken apart and put back together. My dad would ask me for help on Christmas morning putting stuff together. I got into playing around with bicycles, I guess 2 years ago, right around 2 years ago, when I met my girlfriend Tatiana. She owns a bar called The Handlebar in St. Louis, and she was looking for someone who can build crazy bikes. Well, I've been welding since I was 16 and had always tinkered around with making bikes, but I guess that's what really launched me into making neat, fun stuff for everybody to enjoy.
Okay. Can you go into any interesting stories from bikes you made? Or like specific memories from like bikes that really stood out to you, you're really happy with that you made?
I'll show you one of the first bikes I made. I was living in an area of St. Louis, in North St. Louis, up by University of Missouri, St. Louis, and their campus was a few blocks from my house. So I would go ride my BMX bike up there and just shoot down some hills. And that turned into me having a road bike show up in my backyard one day. I decided that I was going to chop it up and see what I could make out of it, and that's how I got my golden bike, as I call it. It's the first one that really felt good making. You can tell it's a little crude, but it's definitely one I'm proud of.
What about like when did you start up working, or how long have you been working in this like this garage?
I've been in this little home, sweet home, for 4 years now. There's been tons of projects coming out of here. Every bicycle rack that I've made has come out of this garage. I recently got the equipment to do all my own bends, so it's just been a lot of fun playing around with what we can do with a tubing bender and trying to use as much recycled stuff. If there's a piece of a bike that I want, I'm not afraid to go get it to stick it on something else. Sometimes you have to sacrifice one for the greater good, but I think it's coming out pretty well.
Okay.
But yeah, been in this space for 4 years. It's tiny, and sometimes I'm definitely shocked at what I can get done in this little tiny space. But it's going to be time to move up soon.
So you kind of get to make your own hours, is it?
I definitely get to make my own hours, and it has been more of a hobby turned profession, and I'm loving it. People are requesting my stuff. I'm getting phone calls from other countries with, hey, we saw a paper that had you on this 9-foot-tall bike, and what was your secret? How did you make it? What do you do differently?
I guess your newest project that you're finishing up today, elaborate on that and what's to come of that.
This has definitely been one of the most ambitious creations I've ever tried. It's a rear steering front wheel drive bike, and the problems that went along with that are limitless. I won't bore you with that, but this bike was made for a production company here in town called Bell of the Ball Productions, and Amy Palmer sought me out after seeing a St. Louis magazine article on me, and found me through Facebook, believe it or not. Had no idea that I actually built a bunch of different stuff like this. So I made another project for her called a wine skirt. Then we had always been, she first contacted me to make this thing, and we've been playing around with it, but no one ever had the upfront capital to make something that I sketched on a piece of paper come to life. So she really sold the idea. Pepsi caught wind of this and decided they wanted it at their event, and so we were able to finance the building of it, and it's been a blast. I got the check 3.5 weeks ago, so it's been 3 weeks of just pumping this thing out, and it's been a real experience, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. So tomorrow's our big event, and today is just wrapping everything up and making sure it goes flawlessly as to be expected.
All right. Thanks, Jake. Going for a meeting.